Hey, how's everyone doing today? I'm doing pretty okay. I made this cute little top that was like kind of more feminine and I didn't think I was gonna like it, but I actually really like it a lot. So I'm gonna show you what it looks like and then I'm gonna show you the pattern and how to make it. I really like this pattern, and I'm not usually a fan of the like frills and types things, but I really like how it looks and I think it is extra cute with the little tube top styled underneath it. Alright, so you're going to take a size I needle, it's upside down, size I needle, you're going to make a slip stitch, and then you're going to chain 72. I will meet you at the next row. Okay, so for the first row, because this was a chain, it's technically not a row, you're just going to single crochet. Okay, so I'm on the second row going on third. We still have 72 stitches on the row, and we are just going to single crochet for rows 1 through 16. And then after the 16th row we are going to embellish a little bit, so just meet me back at the end of row 16. How about that? Alright, so now that you have crocheted 16 rows, and the way single crochet is it kind of like separates out between two rows. So you should, like, this is 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. If you do have trouble distinguishing your rows in single crochet, you can do them in rows of 2, and it's like opposite on this side. So like down here it's like 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, 13, 15, 16. But anyway, you are going to turn your work, chain 3, and you are going to skip 1 stitch, slip stitch into the second one, and slip stitch again, what's going on with my rows here? Yeah, so chain 3, skip a stitch, slip stitch 3, chain 3 again, skip a stitch, slip stitch 3, and that's what we are going to do for this whole row. I will meet you back at the end because the next row is going to be a bit different. Okay, so you're going to end with the last 2 stitches being slip stitches, which is fine. Actually, it's kind of perfect. So you're going to chain 1, you're going to go, you're going to yarn over, and you are going to double crochet into this loop here, and you are going to double crochet I want to say it's 5 double crochets. Let's see if I guessed right here. Yeah, we'll go with 5. And then you are going to slip stitch into, because you did 3 slip stitches, you're gonna slip stitch into the middle slip stitch, and it's kind of in the back. So just make sure you get into the slip stitch rather than like this part. So there you go. That's what you're gonna do. Yarn over again, go into the next loop, 5 double crochets, and slip stitch into the middle slip stitch from the previous row. And then once you have done this, you are done with this section of the piece, so you can just bind off and we will get to the next bit. Alright, so on the last part of this, it's going to be just a bit different because it's like right on the end. So this part's the same, you just slip stitch into your middle, slip stitch from the previous row, and you're just going to double crochet in here. I want to say it's 3. Yeah, that looks pretty good. And bind off. You're all set with this section. We'll get to the next one. And you know, tuck your tail into your piece or tie it on. I like to usually do at least like one little knot. And just make sure it's secure. For this next section, we're going to start by chaining 64 stitches. Okay, now you're just going to single crochet across your chains, and when we get to the end, we're going to single crochet 2 into the last. Well, we're going to single crochet 3 into the last chain of this row. And we're going to, this, it's hard to call it a row because we're actually going to be going around in kind of a oval shape. So I'll let you know what is considered the beginning and end of each row. Okay, so I single crocheted across the entire row, and then I single crocheted 4 into this final chain. And now we are going to single crochet back across, and that will be the end of row 1, I think. So the whole row is going to be an oval shape, and then once you get bigger rows, because this is just like kind of almost 2 lines, it will start to look more ovally, but the edges will be probably pointed. It's hard to call this a row, but row 1 will be done at the end of this bit. Alright, so here you're going to single crochet 3 into this final chain. And we're not doing 4 because technically you already have 1 stitch from turning your work earlier. So single crochet 3. Slip stitch into this, chain 1. Okay, yeah, for this, you are gonna wanna just kind of. Alright, now that you've got your chain 1 so that it's not on the very end, you can just single crochet 2 into each of the ends on this one as well. And that's just what you're gonna do. Alright, we're at the other end. You're just gonna single crochet 2 into that stitch and then single crochet 2 into the other stitch. Boom. Easy. And single crochet as normal across the row, and you are going to do the same thing at the other end. And you can see you do now have like a center one, and it's probably going to continue to alternate in this way. So for the next row, you're just going to single crochet 4 into this center stitch. And you're getting a very slight inward curve, which is that is what you want. So alright, we're coming up on the end of row 2, so, and this works out pretty well, where you can just single crochet 2, single crochet 2, and then this right here is your chain 1, so you're going to slip stitch into that. Jesus. If I can. There we go. Slip stitch and chain 1 and start on the next row. Alright, we're coming on the end of row 3 now. It's going to be single crochet 1, single crochet 4 into this middle stitch, single crochet, and do chain stitches here, so you're going to single crochet 1 more time. Then you're going to slip stitch into your chain from the previous row, chain 1, and this is row 4. See you at the end. Oh, and for this, for row 4, you are going to do the single crochet 2, single crochet 2, rather than single crocheting 4 into one stitch. So this is where the sleeve is, and the stitching is mostly straightforward. You want to stitch from these center points here out, and this is like pretty much just a straight line stitch. But up here is a little bit difficult. You do want to fold this down and stitch it into here, so that it kind of smoothly transitions up. And then once you've gotten up here, you are going to leave, I want to say this is around 10 or 15 stitches. I wanted to do the measurement though. Yeah, so this is almost exactly 4 inches of space that you're going to leave unstitched. I would recommend stitching from here out first, and then you can kind of lay out the rest of this this rectangle here. You can lay it out so it's symmetrical, and then I ended up with the sleeves being roughly the same length. I didn't measure them as I was going along because I made this to be kind of simpler. So yeah, you don't actually need to measure them with a measuring tape. You can just make sure they're about symmetrical. Though if you do want to measure them with a measuring tape and be more precise, they are about 6 inches from here to the end. And yeah, so we're going to get started on embellishments now, and we are just going to do the same thing, the same stitching here, except we're going to do it along here, and it's just going to be all these stitches. And then after that we are just going to do a little bit of single crochet and slip stitching up across here because this looks a little bit messy, and then we will lace in some string around here so it can be a lace up, and we will be done. So let's get into it. So actually, don't do a slip knot, just start with a slip stitch into this stitch right here. Jesus. And basically you're just going to single crochet across here, single crochet back across, and slip stitch up to about here. Alright, so in terms of embellishments, we've got this here. It's the same as the bottom of the bottom part that we did earlier. And then the last part that you do is you're going to weave a 1/44 stitch long chain into this center in the front, and you're going to, it's going to be between every 2 stitches. So you see I went through this chain right here. The yarn is through this chain, and then skipped 2 stitches, and then the next time that I chain through on this side, it's right here. So 2 stitches between every pull through, and you can actually just use a crochet needle to pull this through. For that you just have to not snip off the tails of the string, and then you should be able to just pull it through. And the way I did it, I was pulling through, so I actually used the size eye needle for this as well, but basically I was just pulling through the bottom every time I pulled a stitch through, and then so you get this nice little pattern, and the right side was always on top. That's how you get your symmetry, and there you go. That is the whole piece. Thank you for watching, and have a nice rest of your day. Thank you guys so much for watching the whole video, and I hope you have a nice rest of your day.